What's going on, everybody? I'm Gremknot, and today I'm bringing you the start of a new series called Deck of the Week. So, the long and short of this is just that I'm going to go out through the week, and if I see a deck list that is, uh, interesting or cool, and I see that it's doing well on the ladder, and it's not something that we're normally used to seeing, I'm going to grab that deck list and I'm going to do a small little deck tech on it. We'll talk about the deck here in just a moment. And then I'll play a couple of games of ranked with it and just kind of see how it feels and see how it's doing on the ladder. So this week, our deck is brought to you by JupeHerne. I hope I said that right. But it is a dark fire deck, the Azrakal hero. It does not have, it's not a named hero, it's not a Madeline, it's not a Satana, but it's a very interesting list. I've seen him climbing the ladder with it some. It was pointed out to me. I think that it's a pretty good list, and I think we're going to do pretty well in our couple of games that we'll play on the ladder. But the simple breakdown of this list is that we're playing a lot of wildfire cards, right? We're playing Floki, we're playing Riz. We have the Evolution Rizma, we have our Blitzy. We're also playing, as a part of the Dark package here, we've got the Shadow Gaze and Incendiasnare, so we have some Curse at a super cheap value, and we're able to evolve into Incendiasnare. We do have two Pukies, no Vominicals, which is very interesting. And then we've got the Valgrub line with two Valgrubs, two Valmoths, and Demothra for some raised dad action at a super cheap value. We can make the Valgrubs really big and play the Valmoth on their own. Or, if we find ourselves in a position where the Valgrub isn't very big, we can evolve and be able to draw a card. We've got some Twigga and Sticka to try to get some additional lilies, right? Zero cost cards that I think will be probably pretty good when we're playing. We have one Vroom, and then we've kind of got a couple of Bronies here for some combustion to kind of just hit the face. Also some Floka Furnace to make sure that we're hitting the face. We also have, our simple Mune and Bofa package. We want to try to be able to evolve many of the things that we have here. And then we have two Onge and one Graphite Egg package. And I think, the deck is pretty straightforward, but I think it's going to do pretty well. I probably would have liked to have seen a second Vroom. I'm not sure where we start cutting. Maybe we're cutting a Floki Furnace or a Floku Furnace. Maybe we see a Flomi in the list somewhere. He did send an additional list that he had updated, but I wanted to play with the deck that he was playing with on ladder, so I kept it exactly the same. I haven't made any adjustments to it. But yeah, so we're going to jump over here and we're going to get right into it. We're going to go get some ranked games in the standard format with this new deck, and hopefully the queue is popping. We're right here at the end of the season. Okay, so not familiar with this player, but he's on Inferno, which is interesting. Our hand is fine, I think, so we will not mulligan here. I think I do want to start with Floki Furnace, but if he plays his own Floki Furnace, then it's no good for us. I'm actually just going to pass. I don't want to get my Floki wildfired into that. I guess another key takeaway from this is that we also get +2 extra damage to nature and +2 extra damage to fire, which I think are both really good. All right, and so we could get, I can't remember if Inferno is fire only. If it is, that's fine. We could get Infernoed here. We're going to play the Riz, and we're going to hope that he doesn't have double wildfire here. This would be a very interesting situation for us, I think. He plays the Blitzy, so he does have the double wildfire plus the Lily. So we really want to try to get 2 or 3 plays here. Our Riz going down really hurts, I think, so we could start with Floki, and then we could play Brony. We'd be able to get an additional damage in somewhere and kill another one. We could also just Valmoth back a Rizma. We could save this. It's very interesting. I think we start with the Floki. Okay. We want to hit this and pass the turn. So we got the best case scenario there, I think, in terms of knocking off the Blitzy with the second Floki Furnace trigger there. So pretty okay spot, I think, at the moment. Plays a Messick. That seems fine. Unfortunate that he was able to wildfire away our Floki. So we could actually just trade out here, which seems okay to me. And then I could play a Pukey and a Valgrub. And I think that's probably okay. This is also probably a good turn to try to get Onge in. We don't have any way to ping away this Mystic. I think it's probably just okay. We have the Riz now, which is interesting. So we get the Valgrub out, and we'll kind of just see what he wants to do on his turn. He's going to 4 mana. He has no Lily anymore. So there's not a lot we're worried about. He gets to play double cards here if he wants, which is fine. And he gets to ping the Pukey, which is unfortunate for the Rascal. He really wanted to be able to get rid of the Valgrub. Okay. Okay. So he had double Rascal and clears out the board, which is interesting, I think. So we get an interesting turn here. We could play Risma. We could get double pings with the Valgrub coming back with the Valmoth. We can also Vroom away his Blaze Bark. I'm not too worried about the Rascals, I guess. This is interesting. I kind of like the idea to Vroom this away. I should have played this first. We can play Sticka here. Lily is nice. We can get our own Onge, and we will pass the turn. Probably should have played Valmoth first there to get the Valgrub back, and then played the Vroom. And that's fine. He attacks, gets the Onge. See what we get here. I think in terms of cards, we're probably okay. He's going to try to trade out some of his board. Probably kills the Vroom here. Gets a Floki in there. Expect him to play 3 or 4 cards this turn. Sure. All of these things are fine. Okay. So what do we do here? So we're definitely in here for a Sticka. We get a Teal Lily. We can go get the Risma evolution, and we can play an Onge, and we'll pass the turn. We took a lot of health there to really be able to do these things. And then he gets a Fernac, and he has to pass the turn, which is fine. So we'll get our attacks in. We'll evolve into our Risma. And honestly, I think that's going to be it for me. So far, so good. I think we're doing okay. Just in terms of board state versus what he's got. He plays a Risma. He gets Brony after this. And then gets the high roll on the Brony, which is super duper annoying. But does work out in our favor here, I think. So we get this. We can immune away this. We can bring back another Risma, and we can hit him for 7. So now we have double Risma on the board. He's going to very quickly find... I think very quickly we're going to find out that it's going to be very hard with him and 3 cards in his hand to be able to deal with the Risma. The double Risma is very big. We are a little at risk of getting burnt out here. The self-destruct 4 is interesting. I assume he's going to ping me. That would be my best guess. Because we're going to be guaranteed, I think, to go down to 18. We could go to 10 potentially with this. No, he decides to kill the Valmoth, which is interesting. So with this, we get this and this. We can trade here. We can do 7, 14. I actually could have killed him because I pinged him and I forgot that Wildfire can now randomly trigger. Yeah, so we were still good. So Wildfire can actually randomly ping the opponent, and I completely forgot about that. We'll get right into game 2. So I've got to remember that moving forward and pay attention to the life and do the math. I should have killed him the turn before. I gave him an option to actually get in. It was a big misplay on my part. Very unfortunate. All right. Right in here to game 2 against another random fire list. Very interesting. I actually like my hand. I don't mind not playing anything on turn 1. I also don't mind playing a Lily and shadow gazing something if need be. And I can Pukey right into this, I think, which is good. Very interesting. We can immune that one away next turn. Be interesting to see if he has any otherworldlies. Plays a Messick, which seems fine. So we really want to figure out what we want to do here. We have effectively 4 mana if we want it. So I can play Riz and ping one of them. I can play Lily and shadow gaze one of them. So it's actually just better to do this, I think. We play Riz. We play Lily. And we play Valgrub. Much better to do this. I think this line is a lot better. Gets Floki Furnace, kills the Valgrub, which is fine. Because we can now Valmoth that back. Evolve into Rizma after an attack. So we would like to attack, evolve into Rizma, and then do this. And pass the turn. I think the whole part of this matchup, it's very interesting that we're playing 2 of the same matchups, but I think the whole portion or part of this matchup is to try to just get something that sticks on the board, right? Get things that my opponent cannot get rid of. Very interesting. A Cthulhu, a Cthulhu with Rush, the nice 7/7 with Rush. I'm not expecting to get board wiped here at any point. So I'm pretty happy to just kind of play some things out. I also could just take. This might just be the right play. I think I'm just taking here, which seems fine. I can actually just go ahead and play this Pukey here too while I'm at it. And we can look to just close the game out next turn. Gets a nice Blitzy. That was a good trigger there. Floki Furnace into the Rizma. Another high roll, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate that we have been high rolled twice there. But I think that's okay. I think that I can get something along the lines of Incendious Snare plus Floki. I can also Floki, Valgrub, and Sticka. We can Teal Lily and go get... I think I just want another Floki Furnace. It just puts it out of reach. And then we can trade here. And we can attack here. And we can pass the turn. I think this just puts it out of reach. I mean, we get 2 combustion triggers here. We have Incendious Snare. We can mune away anything that he has. I think we're looking pretty good. Yep, Riz into Spike. That's interesting. So, how do we want to go about this? I think shadow gazing this is probably fine into an attack. This allows us to immune this guy, brony him, attack for 6, 9, and he dies to the next Floka Furnace that we have. Good old Floke Furnace. Flokernus. Yep, easy GG's. Quick 2 games. We'll get one more in. Hopefully we play against a different deck and we can see a different side of this. So if you're looking for your next deck, this might be it. This is a really good ladder climber. All right, and we're in here for game 3. We're going to go against Aldrich, which I think is an interesting matchup. Our hand is okay. I don't mind this hand too much. Could get out of control with all of the rush that the Aldrich player does have. Champions have rush until the end of the turn for 3 mana. So we are firing it off with an Onge, and we actually don't have anything to evolve. And I'm afraid, I really hope we draw something. I'm afraid that I'm going to end up with all of these fire eggs and nothing to be able to draw from. Okay, we do. We end up with a Rhyzma, which I think is fine. So we get a Rhyzma in there, and we'll get another Onge. Get an interesting Mirri. I don't think I mind this too much, right? So we just Float Garnish it away, which seems fine to me. I'm happy to just get a Valgrub out here, so that even if my board does get wiped away, that I'm okay. Sure. Gets another Retribution. I do not mind this at all. We can do this. We can evolve this guy. And I think we can do this and Valgrub will live. But if not, we'll attack first. Okay, good deal. Alright, so we don't have to worry about getting Retributioned yet. Right, next turn should be the Retribution. We do get the double strike, and he's going to get something else out on the board here. Oh, no, he just decided to give it rush. That's fine. No problems. And he gets the 1/1 out of the Lily, which seems perfectly okay. I'm happy to just kind of bang across here. I'm happy to probably play a Graphite and a Pukey and leave it there. So he basically has to Runestone and rush across, right? He's got to get some sort of Retribution and run across into the Rhyzma. He can wipe out the whole board. He does not. He does get to make the double play, which seems fine. Okay, so what can we do here? We can evolve into the Rhyzma. I can also get Twigga plus Sticka. We might just be able to wipe his whole board here. So we get Rhyzma. We can go Twigga. We can go Bofa into Twigga. We double kill that, which is beautiful. We attack here, here, here. We can get 8 more damage next turn if we want it. I think we are well on our way to a 3-0 deck of the week. This is looking pretty good. Pretty good. Find it's going to be very, very hard for him to find a way to get back into the game. Okay, gets rid of the Rhyzma. Should have a mana or 2 left. Okay, gets double attacks, which is no problem with me. Let's see here. So we can just go Incendisnare, Sticka. We can do Blue Lily with no target, Purple Lily with no target, White Lily, and then we will attack for game. And that's going to do it, guys. I think, 3-0. We've done a really good job of highlighting this deck for this week. If you're interested in playing this, I'm going to throw the deck list back up really quickly, and we will take a look at it. I think in terms of changes, I wouldn't change very much, right? I might play a second Graphite. That might be something that I would do. I might play a Floamy if I think the format's a little slower. Probably dropping Floca Furnace, getting a second Vroom in. I also think it's possible we could just drop Sticka altogether and just play Twigga. But for the most part, I really like the list. So yeah, if you guys are looking for a new list or just a list that you want to climb the ladder with, this might be the deck for you.
So, yeah, that's been my deck of the week. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys next week with a new deck. Thanks, everybody.